Hello and welcome once again to yet another lecture of company law. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about a special type of company, which is also known as Section 8 company, that is a non-profit organization. Now, what if I tell you that a company, if it earns any profit, will not be able to distribute its profit to its members in the form of dividend? Would it be possible? Yes, under Section 8 of the Companies Act, it is provided that a company which is registered under Section 8 of Companies Act 2013 will be called an non-profit organization and hence cannot distribute its profits to its members. That means it cannot give dividend to its members. Okay, so let us get into the provisions and the technicalities that has been provided under Section 8 of the Companies Act, which is covering the topic of non-profit organization. Now, when we understand the name itself, non-profit organization, what does it mean? That this is a company which is created not for profits, not for profits. Then what? We always associate companies or corporates as a profit making machine. Okay, but these are a special type of company which has been provided under the Companies Act 2013, saying that it is not for making profits. That means it is actually working for promotion of some activities which can be for a social cause or some specific areas which we will discuss about very soon. Okay, so Section 8 company is basically a company which has been created not for profit. It is a not for profit company, which means that it cannot distribute its profits as dividends to its members. Then if I say that it cannot distribute the profits as dividends, then are we saying over here that any profit that is accrued by such company will be reallocated to promotion of its objects? Which means that if a non-profit organization gets 10 crore profits out of its activities, then this 10 crores, rather than being distributed to its members as dividend, will actually be reallocated to such an activity. Like say it is in the promotion of sports, so it will reallocate this 10 crores for all the activities or creating a gymkhana or maintenance of a maidan or some kind of sports equipments to the sports person who are within their purview or within their area. Okay, so Section 8 company ka framework, have you understood the framework so far? It is a basic framework. Okay, now out of this we have understood that there are 3 golden rules that are required for a Section 8 company to be a non-profit organization, and such a non-profit organization, that is an NPO, has to get registered and receive a license from whom? From central government. Okay, so it will get the license only and only if it is fulfilling the conditions, satisfying these 3 conditions that we are going to speak about very soon. Okay, so I hope the framework is very clear. Let us get into the provisions directly without wasting any time now. Now, Section 8 company. What do you mean by Section 8 company? It means a company which is working in a specific area, and such a company is a non-profit entity. This is a very important point. Non-profit entity formed specifically to promote one of these fields like commerce, arts, science, sports, education, social welfare, religion, or charity. Any one of these areas, if a company is working on, okay, and the key regulation is that it must apply all profit solely for promoting the objectives. Any of these objectives that it is working on, the company is deriving any profits, that profit has to go solely for the promoting of such kind of objective. Okay, the next point is strictly prohibited from paying any dividends to its members. Obviously, if the first point is applicable and the company is adhering to it, that means it is not allowed to pay dividends to its members. This is what we have learned so far in the non-profit organization. Now, if I summarize these conditions into 3 golden conditions, the first condition is it should be for a specific object. Okay, it should apply its profits only for such objects. Only for such objects. Next is, since it is applying the profits only for such objects, that means it cannot give any dividend. Okay, so all 3 points are actually interlinked or interconnected, very easy to remember. This is provided under section 8 subsection 1. Okay, we have to remember the sections also, at least the important sections, so that we quote it in the exam, which will give us the edge for that extra marks that has to be given. Okay, now once we understood that a company qualifies and completes all these 3 conditions, now what the company has to do is that it has to go through a registration process. Now what is this registration process? The company has to get a license from the central government. Okay, the company has to get a license from the central government. Now for getting this license, the application has to be made online. It has to be an online registration process. Online registration process. And for this online registration, the company has to fill INC 32 form on Spice Plus web portal. Okay, so apply for incorporation using the integrated Spice Plus INC 32 web form, the online form. It must meet specific criteria for special registration as a non-profit organization. This criteria is, which is this criteria? 3 golden conditions. 3 golden conditions. Okay. Now, once the company is approved by the central government, the company will get a status of, what is the status? Status of section 8 company, and it will get an certificate of license, okay, to undertake its activities. Okay. Now, whatever the object of the company on the activity that the company is going to work on for the promotion of that particular activity, like say for social welfare, then in that case that object has to be clearly mentioned in the memorandum of association of the NPO. Okay. Now we come to, once the registration is done, what are the exemptions that are provided to such company? Okay. Now the first exemption that we have to remember is that the company is exempted from affixing the words private limited or limited company. So it is officially it is allowing operation without the words limited or private limited in its name. Okay, this is the first exemption that you are getting. There is a possibility that in the examination there might be a question which may come, that what are the exemptions that an or a relaxation that an section 8 company or an NPO gets vis-a-vis the regular company. So this will be your first point for that. Now the second point, I have covered around 6-7 points over here in this table itself. We will go through it one by one. The first one is notice for general meeting. See, normally regular company, the notice is 21 clear days has to be provided for the general meeting. Okay, but in case of section 8 company, it is 14 clear days. Okay. Next, the board meeting. In case of regular companies, there has to be 4 meetings in a year, 4 board meetings in a year, 1 each quarter. But in case of section 8 company, it is 1 meeting every 6 months. That means 2 meetings across the year. Okay. Now, what is the minimum quorum? Minimum quorum for a regular company is 1/3 or 2 directors, and for a section 8 company. Now, what is quorum first of all? Quorum means minimum number of members or directors present in the meeting. Okay, Without this quorum being fulfilled, the meeting will not be valid. So the quorum has to be fulfilled, then only we can say that the meeting is a valid meeting. Okay. Now in case of Section 8 company, what is it? It is 8 members or 25% of the strength, whichever is less. Okay. Provided that at least 2 members are present. Clear? Very simple. 8 members or 25% of the strength. 25% of the strength means if there are, say, 8 members in the company, 8 members only in the NPO, then in that case 25% is 2. 2 members will also form an quorum. Okay. Similarly, at least 2 members should be there which will form a quorum. Like say if there are only 4 members in an NPO, then in that case 25% comes to 1 member. Okay. But 1 member is not allowed. At least 2 members have to be present in the meeting. Hence, in that case, the quorum will be 2 members. Okay, I hope this part is clear. I am not getting into details of quorum because I have a separate video on quorum as it is. But what is the difference in a Section 8 company, that I have just explained. Okay. Now, in case of stamp duty, it is applicable for a regular company in case of MOA and AOA. AOA and MOA means Memorandum of Association and Articles of Association. I will soon come up with videos on Memorandum of Association and Articles of Association also. Okay, so wait for those videos. But in case of Section 8 company, such stamp duty is exempted in most of the cases. See, stamp duty is basically comes under the purview of different state governments. So different states have different stamp duty applicable. But for most of the states, it is exempted in case of Section 8 company. Okay. Now, number of directors, maximum 15, may appoint more than 15. What is the difference over here? Say in case of a normal company, regular company, the maximum limit of directors that can be appointed is 15. And if you want to appoint more than that, you will have to pass a special resolution in a general meeting. May increase by passing a special resolution. But in case of Section 8 company, there is a relaxation which has been provided that you can appoint more than 15 directors. And there is no need to pass an special resolution also. Okay, clear? The next part is independent directors. In case of independent director, for a regular company, if it is falling under the criteria which has been provided under Section 149, then such company has to mandatorily appoint independent directors. Okay, so it is applicable as per Section 149. But in case of Section 8 companies, independent directors appointment has been exempted altogether. So Section 149 is not applicable to Section 8 company or an NPO. Okay, so these are the exemptions or relaxations which has been provided under Section 8 to an NPO company, or you can say a Section 8 company. Okay, are we clear about that? This can be a question which can be asked in the exam. So you have to go through all these exemptions or relaxations very, very carefully and understand them easily. Okay, next is revocation of license. Now, just now I told you that central government will be providing the license, okay, to an NPO. So the central government has the power to revoke the license also. So whoever gives the license has the power to revoke the license also. Now, revocation of license can happen under certain conditions. Okay, so we will understand what those conditions are. We are speaking about revocation of license. Now, in case of revocation of license, if the company violates any condition of the license, when the government is providing the license, government may, as per its discretion, give the license provided that some conditions are laid down. If the company, the NPO, at any point of time violates the conditions that have been provided for the grant of license, in that case, what will happen is that the central government will revoke the license on the basis of violation of any condition. This is the first reason for revocation of license. Okay. The second reason is if the affairs of the company are conducted fraudulently. If it comes to the light of central government and there is enough reasonable evidence to conclude that the affairs of the NPO are conducted in a fraudulent manner, then in that case the license can be revoked. Okay. The next point is objects of the company are violated. Objects of the company are violated. That means, as I told you earlier, that a MOA, that is Memorandum of Association, has to give objects of the company. Objects of the company. Okay. So it will very clearly specify which social cause it is trying to promote, or which activity like commerce, arts, education, or sports. What we had discussed just before is that religion or charity that it is trying to promote. If it works against those objects, or if it works on any other object, like say a company is there for sports purpose. Okay, it has been given very clearly that its object is promotion of sports, but it gets into an activity of real estate where it is renting its gymkhana for some wedding functions and etc etc. Then in that case it would be said that it is diverging from its object clause that has been provided, which is promotion of sports, and hence the central government can in that case revoke the license. Okay, is this also clear? So objects of the company are violated, that is a sports club starts selling the real estate for profit. Okay, so these are the three. This is very very important from the examination point. You can mark this as important. Okay, now the next point is what happens after revocation. Now say in case any particular NPO gets its license revoked by the central government for the three given reasons, then what will happen is that there are two scenarios which can play out. The first scenario is that the ROC may say कि this was an NPO company, Section 8 company, but because its license has been revoked, now it is like any other regular company. So it may add the words private limited company or limited company to such an NPO, and NPO will lose all its exemptions and relaxations as an NPO and will have to fulfill the conditions as a regular company, as a private company or a public company, as the case may be. So the first consequence of the revocation is that the ROC adds a limited or private limited back to the name. This is the first point. Second point is that it may also be possible that a drastic measure is taken by the central government where it winds up the company. Or it gets the company amalgamated to some other NPO. So if say there is already an ABC company which is an NPO which is working in the area of sports. Okay, now this company's license is revoked by central government. Okay, now in this case what can happen? Two things can happen. Either ROC adds private limited or limited, or the central government orders for winding up of the company. That means the company will be closed and company will be actually dissolved so that it is no longer in existence. Okay, and the central government also has an option that it may amalgamate ABC company which is an NPO in XYZ which is also an NPO. Now over here remember one point, that central government can merge or amalgamate an NPO for whom license is revoked to some other NPO only and only if that other NPO is working in the same area or the same object which the ABC company or the company whose license has been revoked. Okay, so the objects of both the company has to be same. Is this clear? So let us read this once again. The government can order the company to be wound up or amalgamated with another Section 8 company having similar objects. So this is the topic of revocation. Very very important. A case study can come out of this, or a direct question can also come out of this particular concept. Okay. Now if the companies do not follow the provisions of section 8, or the companies are default in the provisions of section 8, okay, then that case, what is the penalty that has been provided under section 8 subsection 11, which says the company will face a fine of 10 lakh rupees to 1 crore rupees, okay, and the directors or officers of the company will face a fine of 25,000 to 25 lakh rupees. Now there has been an amendment where the imprisonment is now not a part of the penalty. Imprisonment is not a part of the penalty. Only fine is the part of the penalty, because there has been an amendment in company law recently where most of the offences have now been decriminalized. That means imprisonment or jail term is not a part of the penalties in that case. Okay, hence the directors or officers will face a fine of 25,000 to 25 lakhs, and for a company it will be from 10 lakhs to 1 crore. Okay, I hope this is clear. Some additional points that I want to cover, which may be important from examination point of view, and you should be knowing it. Okay, first is that, can a partnership firm become a member of the NPO? Normally, in a regular company, a partnership firm does not have a legal status as such, and hence cannot become an member of that particular regular company. But in case of NPO, section 8 specifically has given an exception that a partnership firm can also become member of the NPO. Okay, so for a regular company, a partnership firm does not have a legal status to become a member, but for an NPO it can become a member. Do remember, this point is very, very important point. It can come for the examination. Okay, so whose approval is required in case there is any change in objects of the memorandum of association? Like say today the company was working for the promotion of say sports, and now the company wants to change its objective from sports to some kind of social cause, for social welfare. Then in that case the object clause has to be amended, and that object clause can be amended by the approval of central government. Is it clear? Now one more last question is that, is CSR, that is corporate social responsibility, under section 135, whether these provisions is applicable to section 8 company also? Then the answer is yes. If it fulfills the criteria which is given under section 135, then in that case the section 8 company will also have to fulfill the requirements of CSR under section 135. Okay, so this was the concept of NPO, section 8 company. I hope all of you have understood this section very, very clearly, and I have tried to keep it crisp but cover all the points that are important from the examination point of view also, and from conceptual point of view also. So if this video was useful for you, do like, comment, share and subscribe this channel. That will be the biggest motivation for me to bring more videos. Now I'm planning to make it more consistent by uploading one video every Tuesday, one of the days of the week. Mostly on Tuesday I will be uploading a conceptual video like this, and most of the types of the companies I have already completed. I think one more type of company is Nidhi company, which I can cover in my next video. So that will come next Tuesday. I would make a playlist of types of companies, and if you have any suggestions of the types of videos or any feedback that you have for videos that you require which may help you, please do drop in the comment box. And if you have any doubts on this topic also, you can drop in the comment box. I would be happy to help. So that's it from me in this video. See you in the next video. Bye for now.